was us. We from the trenches, young niggas killing. He took it straight out the dust. Keeping these laws, stay on a mission, seeking the spirit of us. Who would've thought it was us? 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 We from the trenches, young niggas killing. He took it straight out the dust. Keeping these laws, stay on a mission, seeking the spirit of us. Who would've thought it was us? Who would've thought it was us? Who would've thought it was us?
Who would've knew we the Jews? Every time you see the news, we getting abused, killing each other for shoes. Look around and see the clues. We do whatever for views. Without y'all, we set up to lose. Life eternal, be clever to choose. Perfect timing is never to snooze. My people snared and hoes hid in prison. Can't come together for the vision. Got the whole nation in derision. Always doing evil with precision. Spirit sick and need a physician. Pray the Father hearing my petition. Used to be thugging the block, I was hugging, but not for the kingdom, I play my position. Growing up, all we was taught is to hustle. Tug of war life, all we know is the struggle. Raised in the jacks, we got forced in the bubble. Now we awake, putting together the puzzle. This ain't no movie and we don't act, but we live by the script. I put a bar on my lip and keep a sword in my bag and one on my hip.
Who would've thought it was us? We from the trenches, young niggas killing. He took it straight out the dust. Keeping these laws, stay on a mission, seeking the spirit of us. Who would've thought it was us? 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 We from the trenches, young niggas killing. He took it straight out the dust. Keeping these laws, stay on a mission, seeking the spirit of us. Who would've thought it was us? 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 I could've died when I hopped on that boat. Beef with my brother, I'm told was up. We catch him slipping, we hit no more. This is my old man. A lot of our brothers are thinking the same. They in the hood and they feeling that pain. All of these curses, they going insane. Whoever knew we the Jews. Whoever knew that the hood was a clue. More that we sending them, more we gon' lose. If he did it for me, he'd do it for you. I still got it all on my heart too. I'm trying to stop you. The Father gon' watch you. All you gotta do is follow the rules. All of that slavery, alligators for the babies. They even beat us and rage us. They even angry. Wonder why we feel angry. Young niggas throwing them bang. They shaking their heads at us. The chosen waking up, he said it's us. The real Jews finally waking up. There's one thing they can't take from us. Whoever knew we the Jew would've thought it was us. We from the trenches, young niggas killing. He took it straight out the dust. Keeping these laws, stay on a mission, seeking the spirit of us. Who would've thought it was us? Who would've thought it was us? Who would've thought it was us? Who would've thought it? Who would've thought it? Who would've thought it? Who would've thought it? He took it straight out of. He took it straight out of. He took it straight out of. Seeking the spirit of us. Who would've thought it was us? Who would've thought it was us?
Yeah. Feel it. See the smile on my face? Do you know what it cost me? Tell me they love me, then they turn around and cross me. They say shalom, but wanna see me in a coffin. One for all the real spill, I would've lost it. I'm never present when they talking about me, and this often. No sweat, I'm suited for it like the office. Cause the trail had to learn to move with caution. Never shown too much, that's what it taught me. Dropping salt, they just give me more flavor. Keep the law, they just give me more favor. Think first when you approach and engage them. Steady spirits wanna know their behavior. We was hurting but couldn't show that it favors. Down and out, we lost everything out. With no prayers, what's the use of the game if it don't come with no players? I was tired of that. You full of pride, I can't vibe with that. What you speak, you can die for that. Talk ain't cheap. So blessed the neighbors think we selling dope. 15 with the Beretta in his coat. And they seldom get a letter from his folks. Contracts by a body politicians selling hope. Last time he saw his son, he was being deployed. Being violent, only thing that seemed to fill that void. See no evil, neither spoken, he ain't hearing that noise. Reminiscing, sipping whiskey, it's just him and his boys. That's the old days. Dancing with his wife, listening to the OJs. Memphis 10, Crystal Palace on the roads. Remember leaving Save a Lot with the Flavor Ray. New Park Cemetery where them Westwood soldiers lay. These black problems, Pack Station 12 hours cause back problems. Trigger finger itching, elders trying to stretch off them. Private prisons making stacks off us. And they spirits how they feeling me. Pride come before destruction and honor after humility. They get offended by the truth when they used to lies. When you stand against the system, you get crucified like Messiah did. I wash my hands with niggas like Powder did. In the driveway, late night, freestyling with secrets made me better. I'm forever grateful. My city just like Gotham, to some it might look appealing. Filled with crooks and villains, you can get your issue. I'm talking books a million, we really need some healing. When it snowed, the homeless on the bridges. Know it's on me, bundled in my britches. Bless my fam, curse who come against it.
Our Hafapalau, the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
He's been so good. He's been so good. Yahweh Shai, his prophecy is coming. Oh, each and every day. So don't be scared, just be prepared. Let me sing the song. Shabbat Shemayim Kodash I'm so
Shalom, Israel, shalom. First, giving all honor, glory, and praise to the undisputable, unapplicable Yahweh, who the world knows as God. Bahashem would be in the name of Yahweh Shai, who will be the undeniable, unforgettable Son, right? The unbegotten Son, right? Which he who saves, or he who delivers, and Yahweh, he who exists. The Hamashiach will be the Christ, right? And we're back. Shabbat Shalom for all those that keep the 7-day Sabbath, right? All praises to the Most High. Not to be, confused with anybody that keep any other Sabbath. We ain't here for that. We're here just to keep the laws to the best of our ability, and do the will of the Most High, man. My name is Ariah.
Brother, y'all, what's up?
And we back at this thing, man. Trying to hopefully lead our people right to the law, statutes, and commandments, and Most High willing, we can get salvation at the end of the day, right? My opening precept, I'm gonna come from the mighty book of Matthew, chapter 19, and I'm gonna start off at verse 16. It says, "And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life?" So if anybody doesn't know, this will be a lawyer came to Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, right? Asking him, what can he do that he may get eternal life, that he may get the kingdom of heaven, that he may be able to get his soul salvation? What did Hamashiach say? He says, and he said unto him, verse 17, "Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is Yahweh. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments." Verse 18, he said unto him, which Yahweh Shai said, "Thou shalt do no murder, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness." Right? These are all commandments, right? Verse 19, "Honor thy father and thy mother, and thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself." The young man said unto him, "All these things have I kept from my youth up. What lack I yet?" Like he asked him, what do I lack? I've been keeping all the commandments to the best of my ability, right? I've been helping my brother, right? I've been honoring my mother and my father, right? I have not committed adultery. I don't lie to my brother and my sister, my mama, my auntie, my uncle, right? So what do I lack? Right? Verse 21, Yahweh Shai said unto him, "If thou wilt be perfect," which he's saying that if you want to have perfection on your title, what do we tell him? "Go and sell that thou hast and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven, and come and follow me." Verse 22, "But when the young man heard that saying, he went away sorrowful, for he had great possessions." So, sometimes, man, it's not the things that you're not doing that can stop you from actual keeping from actually getting the kingdom, but it's some of the things that you are doing, which is maybe putting your job above the Most High, right? Maybe putting carnal things before the kingdom, right? Which actually putting, money, job, wife. You could be putting your wife before the Most High, right? You can allow your wife to get in the way of you doing the will of the Most High, and the Most High will literally, put you to death, and that could stop. And I got one more precept, right? Right? All praise to the Most High, man. Right? This is the book of Luke, chapter 2, And I'm going to start at verse number, Mighty Book of Luke, chapter 2. I'm going to start at verse, I'm going to start at verse 46. It's the book of Luke, chapter 2, verse 46. It says, and it came to pass that after 3 days, they found him in the temple. So if you don't know this account, this is when Yahushua was 13 years old, and he's literally bringing out, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to doctors, to lawyers, to all type of supposedly wise men of the world, right? And it says, sitting in the midst of doctors, both hearing them and asking them questions. And all that heard him were astonished at his understanding and answers. And when they saw him, they were all amazed. And his mother said unto him, son, why hast thou thus dealt with us? Behold, thy father and I have sought thee sorrowing. So, hey, somebody might read this without understanding and say, ain't this not honoring your mother and your father? But you have to understand in the spirit what was going on. Verse 49, and he said unto them, how is it that you sought me? Wist ye not that I must be about my father's business? And they understood not the saying which he spake unto them, right? Because it was above their understanding in the spirit. Verse 51, and he went down with them, and they came to Nazareth and subject unto them. But his mother kept all these sayings in her heart, because, hey, she didn't know at that moment that as time went on, the Most High began to reveal this, why he said that to her. With that, I yield.
Khan, that's right. That's right. The Most High sent his only begotten son to do the will and the work, not of his own doctrine, but the doctrine he got from the Father. The same doctrine he gave Moses, which is the Torah and the law, which we are going over today. And I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. Opening precept coming from the mighty book of Joshua, Joshua chapter 1, and I'm on verse number 8. And it reads, it says, this book of the law, right? Because a lot of times when you come into this knowledge of the truth and the Most High revealed this knowledge to you, there's a lot of things you have to put away. This is not a religious book. This is not a book for all nations. This is a book written by our forefathers to the children of Israel, and it still stands to this day. And this is a book of the law, right? This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night. And then once you start meditating in these scriptures, you will see that every answer that you ever wanted to know with a clear understanding will be found in this book of the law, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein, for then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success, right? So you start keeping the law, statutes, and commandments in this book of the law, then you will have good success and your ways will be prosperous, right? And I yield with that. You're on mute, King. Thank.
Salaki, right? Because everybody always say, well, I want to have good success, right? I want the Most High to touch everything that my hand touches. But hey, even King David said that, right? That the only way that the Most High will bless you, right? Let me bring out one more precept before we get into this thing, right? Because hey, we got to understand what success is in the eyes of the Most High, man. It ain't got nothing to do with, oh well, the Most High is gonna, give me a blessing, right? Financially and all that. No, it has nothing to do with that. That's not success. That would be success in this world, but that's not success according to the Most High, right? So this is the book of Judith, chapter 5, and I'm gonna start at verse 17. And it says, and whilst they sin not before their power, they prospered, because Yahweh that hateth iniquity was with them, right? So, hey, whenever you prosper, prospering is just another way of success, right? Real quick. So look it up real quick. Hey, prosper is just another word for success, man.
Prosper.
Prosper, right? It means to thrive, to flourish, to flower, to bloom, to blossom, to burgen on, to shoot up, right? So prosper just means success. Succeed in material terms. Be financially successful. So just to prosper just only means to be successful, man. So when the brother brought out that, then you shall be prosperous and then you should find good success. Hey, that's this. It's the book of Judah, chapter 5 and verse 17. And whilst they sin not, when you don't go against the law, statutes, commandments, real quick, like brother brought out last night, you know, so we let our people know what these things mean, because they all are hand in hand. It's the book of 1 John chapter 3 verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin, transgressive also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law. So now let's go back to Judah. So we got a full circle understanding of what's going on. It's the book of Judah chapter 5 verse 17. And whilst they sin not before their power. So when you don't break the law, such commandments, when you want to have success, they prospered, because Yahweh that hateth iniquity was with them. But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles, very sore, and were led captives into a land that was not theirs. And the temple of their power was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by their enemies. Right? Hey, because they don't even realize, y'all, what's happening, that, hey, our temple would be us. The temple would be the Israelites. We will be that temple, because our temple is actually taken away from us. So now the temple would be us. We would be that third temple that's getting raised up, so the Most High literally can bring us back into where we're supposed to be at, man. Right? So with that, hey, I give King, if you got anything else you want to bring out before we get going.
We can get into the law.
So without further ado, man, hey, let's get into this thing. Right? Hey, the first law, we're in criminal laws, right? 278 and 279. Not 278, not to slay an innocent person. And 279, not to kidnap any person of Israel. They're both Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 13. I'm sorry, Exodus chapter 20, verse 13.
The book of Exodus 13, thou shalt not kill.
Thou shalt what?
Thou shalt not kill.
Hey, it's just quick and easy, man. I don't need no breakdown. Shall not kill. So commandment number 280 and 281. 280, not to rob by violence. And 281, not to defraud. Both of them are coming from Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 13.
The book of Leviticus chapter 19, verse 13. Thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor, neither rob him. The wages of him that is hired shall not abide with thee all night until the morning.
Hey, and that's robbery, man. So y'all always have, just like how our job make us wait 2 weeks to get paid. Come on, brother. Because how many times we saw a job literally close doors, and they got 1,000 employees, they've owed 1,000 employees their 2-week wage, plus their 401ks and everything of that nature. But instead of paying them, they say, hey, well, we're bankrupt, so we don't have to pay you. And that's kind of wicked. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
that's right. And even if that's, even with that law right there, because we know America, they keep no commandments of God, but yet they say in God they trust. even with this law here saying you can't hold a man wages overnight. Now I know a lot of jobs that's starting to do that. They're starting to pay a daily pay. Even my job has something set up like that, where if you work, 10 hours and you make $20 an hour, and that's it's about $200. They'll pay you half the salary on the same day, and then they put the other half on your check, right? But most jobs, like the brother said, you got to wait a week or 2 weeks to get that pay, and that's according to the Bible, according to the law, that's a sin to do that.
Yeah, man. But like you said, though, brother, hey, a lot of these entities, hey, they're opposite of the Most High, what we call an antichrist or an anti-Yahweh, right? because he said you can't serve two masters, man. So, hey, they're serving the spiritual demon Satan. And that's why they get the fatness of the earth, man. So, hey, commandment 282, not to covet what belongs to another. Exodus chapter 20 and verse 17.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 17. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservants, nor his maidservants, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
Hey, and I love that precept because at the very end, it literally says, nor anything. So it covered, that's everything. A belt, right? A brother plate, a hat, you know what I'm saying? How a brother swag is. Like, you can't cover anything, man. A brother knowledge of the scriptures. Hey, now you can honestly cover like, hey, brother, can you teach me what you got? Because I really respect the knowledge that the Most High gave you. Now that's the balance of a spiritual and righteous way to covet. But you know, the way that this is talking about covet will be a wicked way. You know what I'm saying? Which would be an evil eye towards that. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, you can't covet anything. Hey, bro, you got anything to add to that?
Yeah, I got a precept for that. And let's go to the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 15. The book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 15. But yeah, because covenants is a heavy spirit in Israel, it always like monkey see, monkey do. Brothers always want something that the Most High had blessed another brother with, and that you want it. You don't want it until you see another brother with it, right? You may covet after a brother car, you know, his house. Brother might got some new jewelry, a nice watch, you know, and hey, you don't o'clock in the morning, you know, all time for brothers to do that. Brothers in the car, brothers save their money. Some brothers, you know, got a bad spirit with money. Some brothers can handle more money. Some brothers can't handle money. And brothers save their money to get the thing that they want, right? You shouldn't covet out. You should take an example from that brother and say, hey, well, if that brother can do it, Lord willing, I can do it. You know, it's the book of Luke, chapter 2, verse 15. It says, and he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness. For a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of things which he possesses. See that? So the life is way much more than possessions. But the Most High said through Yahweh Shah, take heed of that covetousness, because that covetousness spirit, it can lead to envy, strife, right? And then ultimately leads to hate, beguile, and sometimes even murder. Brothers get murdered for a damn pair of Jordans back in the 90s, you know?
Hey.
And then with that idea.
And how many times have we saw a brother, you know what I'm saying, in the news kill somebody but over a woman? You know what I'm saying? Hey, we saw that with Alicia Keys with Swiss Beats. Well, right. Way back then when that first happened, hey, Alicia Keys' husband was upset because that brother coveted somebody else's wife. She divorced her husband and married him. So it's like, that's wicked, bro. You know what I'm saying? Right. Two Israelites, brother. Like, hey, you know, but hey, that's all praise to the Most High, man. Hey,
I got one more for that because this is powerful right here. The covenant spirit. Go to Hebrews 13:5.
Huh. That's mighty, man. Because hey, like you said, bro, we got to be careful for that spirit, man. Right? You got it, King.
Right. The book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 5. It said, let your conversations be without covetousness, and be content with such things as you have. For we have said, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. So the things that we have, we know ultimately we get them from the Most High. Your job, your possessions, your car, you know, even your wife, the Most High gave you that woman, right? And a lot of brothers coveted most brothers' wife. They jealous over brother's wife, you know, or a pair, something simple as a pair of shoes. Now we're not talking about Israelites that know they're Israelites and trying to keep the commandments. We're talking about Israelites who don't know who they're Israelites. And this is the slippery slope that sometimes bring down the community, so-called Black community, so-called Hispanic community, Native American, Seminole Indian community, right? That covenant spirit is a heavy spirit because instead of working for it and praying to the Most High for these things, yet we want to take a shortcut and rob and steal and take things from our brothers and sisters that work really hard. So we got to get rid of that covetousness spirit, and it is in the law, right? And I yield with that.
And you're absolutely right, man. Hey, and that thing where it says, we'll come and be content with such things you have. that's also going into, hey, we have the Most High though. So you should be content that, hey, he gave you that spirit. So it shouldn't be about the carnal things. It should be about the spiritual things. So when he's saying be content with such things you have, you should be content that the Most High gave you the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of this, of the ancients, man. Because that's the blessing within itself. Because he says things of this earth are going to pass away, but my word will never pass away. So, hey, that is what you should be concentrating on, would be that spiritual, not the physical or the carnal, right? So that's just heavy what the Most High put in my spirit. So
that's commandment
right.
That's right.
So commandment number 283, right? It says not to crave something that belongs to another. Deuteronomy 5:18.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 5:18. Said 5:18.
Yep.
You had it. Deuteronomy 5:18. It says, "Neither shall thou commit adultery."
Yeah.
I think that was the one that.
No, that's, but she.
That could be an extension of covetousness, but adultery is like what King David did. He craved Bathsheba, right? He saw it washing, or when he walked past her house and he saw it through the window. I mean, crave. Look at that word crave, so brother can get that word crave, right? When you crave something, it passed. I think it's past desire. I think when you crave something, it's way past a desire to have it. I mean, craving is like, like women, that are pregnant. They may crave a certain food. You may crave a certain, type of food, but when you have cravings for something, I mean, you almost desire to have it.
Crave.
Says feel a powerful desire for something. Set one hearts on, seek, desire, want, to covet. See
that?
So yeah, man. So that's why I see why they say the crave that belongs to another. Yes, you look at adultery, right? But we ought to understand that adultery is more than just a man lying with another man's wife, or a woman lying with another woman's husband, right? Adultery goes into spiritual fornication. And what is spiritual fornication? Spiritual fornication is anything that goes against the commandments. So when it says crave something that belongs to another, hey, that's also something that belongs to another God, right? Because the Most High said, I got a precept, right? Because the Most High said, hey, don't deal with nothing else. Don't deal with another entity, right? Only deal with me, because, right, I am who you're supposed to be dealing with.
Right.
Right. Let's Exodus chapter 34 and verse 14, right? Hey, and it's crazy because I love the Most High, because he literally gives us everything that we need, man. We just gotta listen to him. It's the book of Exodus chapter 34 and verse 14. For thou shalt worship no other God. For Yahweh, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God. So with him going into that precept of adultery, you got to understand that when it comes to adultery, a lot of us look at adultery on a woman, on another married man, or a married man dealing with somebody else's wife. But really, adultery, matter of fact, let me pull it up real quick. I just want to just show it real quick, just so we can get an understanding that when it comes to adultery, the world has already just taught us that adultery only means for a married person dealing with a married person, but actually adultery have several different meanings. Real quick, through the spirit.
That's right. Why the brothers getting it? That's right, because you could commit spiritual adultery like the children of Israel did. When you commit spiritual adultery, that means when you're going into other doctrines, when you dabble in other religions, you know, even going to church on Sunday, that's a spiritual adultery, right? Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Judaism, all these are spiritual adultery that you commit, playing the harlot and the whore, right? The Most High speaks about in the word, in his word, you know.
Right? So watch it.
Strong's H 5003. Na'af. Na'af.
Hey, and that means that anything that you do that is against the Most High, right? His law is the covenant, right? That is what premise that we're actually married to him on. It's that vow. It's that the thing that we agreed to do as a husband and a wife, right? And if you go away from it at any point, you're literally committing adultery, right? So that's why Paul put the husband as the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Which he said Yahushai, but if the Most High dwell in Yahushai, then we're all one within the same. Are we the Most High God? Absolutely not. But he's saying symbolically, we're the Most High on earth until the Most High sends his son back, and then he will be the representation of the Most High on earth. But he's not the Most High as well. He will only still be the son, right? So it says adultery, adulterer, adulteress, adulteress, and it says woman that break wedlock. It says commit adultery. To commit adultery, usually of man, always with wife of another. Adultery of woman. Here we go. Idolatrous worship. Because idolatry goes anything that is opposite of the Most High. It says to commit adultery of man, adultery of woman, participle, and it says idolatrous worship, figuratively, right? And it says literally commit adultery, usually a man, always a wife of another, right? It says to commit adultery, followed by commit adultery with a woman, in the same manner commit fornication, as applied to turning aside of Israel from the true Yahweh to the worship of idols. Because the Most High literally told you that you can't sit right at the table of the Most High and of idols. And here's the point. Because rebellious, and we're talking about rebellious or rebellion, right, will be of witchcraft. It said rebellious Israel commits adultery, right? And rebellious just means anything that goes against the law, statutes, and commandments. So when it goes into spiritual fornication, right, it is applied to turning aside of Israel from the true Yahweh. And how do you turn aside? By throwing the commandments behind you, right? So I just wanted to bring that up because I know a lot of the times when our people think of, you know, adultery, which when it goes into this law, when it says not to crave something that belongs to another, right? A lot of people would see that adultery and they will automatically think a man laying with a married woman, or they would think a married woman laying with another man, right? They will automatically go to that, when actuality, you can also go into doing anything outside of the law, because that will be craving a spiritual fornication. So you would be craving something opposite of the Most High, which goes back to that Exodus 34:14, when he says, thou shalt not worship no other God, because you're worshiping another God when you're doing anything outside of the law, statutes, and commandments. Because he said you can't worship two gods, two masters, right? So with that, hey, I yield. If y'all have got something to add to it.
We continue with the law.
All right, Khan. So, commandment 284, not to indulge in evil thoughts and sights. Numbers chapter 15 and verse 39. So, like
Khan, it's the book of Numbers, chapter 15 and verse 39. And it shall be unto you for a friend that ye may look upon it. Salakia. And it shall be a friend, Salakia. And it shall be unto you for a friend that ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments of Yahweh and do them, and that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, which ye, so like after which ye use to go a whoring.
Hey, and we know because like y'all was always say, if you want to go out, you know what I'm saying, you thinking, oh man, I'm finna go out on the Sabbath, I'm finna go and do everything I want to do, and you look down, and you look at your friends, it's like, damn, I ain't supposed to be out here, you know, fornicating with another God, out here defiling the Sabbath day, out here about to do the lust of my own mind, of my own heart. You know, I'm supposed to be giving the Most High all of my heart, all of my mind, all of my soul on this one particular day, and make this day set aside, right? So, hey, with that, I yield.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. The fringes are very important when you come into this knowledge. Not only are you keeping the commandment, because that's when it goes back to Matthew's 5:17. He said, "He that break the least of the commandments." And keeping your fringes, a lot of brothers may think that's not a high commandment, but in the eyes of the Most High, if you break one, you break them all. And we can definitely, you know, with all the garments we buy personally for ourselves, and you know, if a brother, you know, want to keep this, you know, this knowledge, you know, you have to wear fringes. You got to get the fringes. I mean, I know a lot of brothers who work corporate jobs. Sometimes they put them on their like t-shirts or A shirts, the tank tops, the white tank tops, and you know, because it's between you and the Most High. But when you're amongst brethren, when you out, the fringes also, you know, help you recognize brothers that are keeping the law and are in the truth. Because a lot of times, brothers who wear fringes, you can recognize another brother and know that, you know, that he's keeping the law. And nine times out of 10, like we are the Israelites, but you wouldn't know if the brother keeping the commandments. But wearing fringes is a clear indication that the brother is trying to keep the commandments to the best of his ability. And I yield with that.
Absolutely, man. And like you said, you know, it's just an easy indicator because, hey, anybody can look like everybody else. But hey, he said, stand bold, man. He said, you will not be ashamed nor confounded, man. So that's the thing. To me, when I see a brother that don't wear their fringes, like you said, brother, it's a difference if you at work. If you just on a regular day, just out out and about, and you kind of got them underneath, to me, you're kind of ashamed. Because if you're not at work, why would you have them not on or not showing? That's a shame. And that's the thing, though. You could say you're not, but at the end of the day, the Most High knows our heart. So he knows those days that you kind of got them tucked in. You kind of not showing them. You know what I'm saying? Trying to slide by so that way if you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing, a brother might not, you know, notice you to be able to rebuke you or correct you. So the Most High knows all them things. You know what I'm saying? So I'll just let Israel know, just be careful how you moving, because you can try to justify something on your own. Right, real quick, I got a precept. Because you can try to justify things, but the Most High know your heart. Right? Right? The Most High knows your heart. He knows your heart. So be careful. You know, because hey, I hate for our brothers to get the judgment at the end. Right? Man, I might have to go. Might have to go to the next one, man. Yeah, I think I might have to go to the next one because I don't know. But it basically is in Iraq. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to bring out another time. But it basically saying that, you know what I'm saying, man, somebody that commits sin, sometimes they will justify themselves. You know, that's, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, just paraphrasing it. You basically sometimes will justify things as being okay instead of just saying, look, I'm not on company time, so I gotta adhere to the commandments and stand on this thing proud. Because he say, if you will not proclaim me in front of men, and that's proclaiming the Most High without proclaiming. Because if you got your fringes on, you know you're speaking law. You're standing bold and you're proclaiming that, hey, I'm of the Most High's chosen. I'm of the Most High seed. And that's speaking it boldly. And sometimes you won't, he said, if you would be ashamed of me in front of men, he said, then when it's time for me to come and get the Most High's elect, he said, I'm going to be ashamed of you in front of my Father. That means he's going to tell you I never knew you. And I hate for my brothers to do all the work to never be known. Right, so that's the end of that. Punishment and restitution. We're going to get a few of those commandments, and then we're going to hear. Right.
Brought to you by AI Bible.
This is Commandment 285, that the court shall pass sentence of death by decapitation with the sword. That'd be Exodus 21 and 20 and Leviticus 26 and 25.
The book of Exodus, chapter 21 and verse number 20. And if a man smite his servant or his maid with a rod, and he die under his hand, he shall surely be punished.
Hey, and that's going into if you did it, you know what I'm saying, out of anger, not on accident. You know what I'm saying? Because the Most High knows that malice that you have in your heart. You know, so that's all praise to the Most High in Leviticus 26 and 25.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 26, verse 25. And I will bring a sword upon you that shall avenge the quarrel of my covenant. And when ye are gathered together within your cities, I will send the pestilence among you, and ye shall be delivered into the hands of the enemy.
Hey, and that's going back into when the Most High sent our enemies, man. Right? Hey, pestilence sometimes will be death and destruction. And then sometimes pestilence is also being delivered to the hand of your enemy. Right? Hey, because the Most High can put destruction on you many ways. Hey, so you don't want to avenge that covenant. And I mean, you don't want to be on that bad end of the covenant. It's like he said, hey, the punishment of breaking the covenant is either judgment or it's chastisement. Whichever way, I don't want neither one of them. I don't want either one of them. So that goes into any commandment that you're breaking, whether it be bringing in burdens on the Shabbat, whether it be, you know what I'm saying, committing adultery, whether you want to be, you want to, you know what I'm saying, not be in line with how the Most High told you that the order is, however it may be, that you want to just deem that you want to do, hey, there's going to be punishment to pay, man. And that goes for all of us. So we have to really meditate. That's why he say meditate on the commandments, because we have to literally meditate to find out what goes against the Most High. Because when you go against the Most High, you're anti-Yahweh, man. And we don't want to be anti-Yahweh because there's punishment that come with, hey, go up to verse 24 and it'll show you real quick, not to get off topic.
Say verse 24.
Yeah, look, and it's just going on when you go anti the Most High, right?
Book of Leviticus, chapter 26, verse 24. Then will I also walk contrary unto you, and will punish you yet 7 times for your sins.
So that's just going into, hey, when you breaking that covenant, hey, the Most High is going to go against you 7 times for your sins. And sins is the breaking of the law, like I brought out at the beginning of our Torah class. So it's literally letting you know that if you break the sin, if you break the commandments, the Most High has to punish you. He can't go against his word, man. And that's why we bring out these commandments. Yes, we only bring out 10 a week because we went over them so many times. So we don't want to, overdo it. And you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we bring them out for our learning, for our people's learning. So that way we let you know we don't want you to get punished 7 times for your sins. But yet, our people want to walk contrary and thinking that it's okay. Well, I'm here to let you know it's not okay. Yasharala, it's not okay to walk contrary and to sin. So if you want to, be disobedient, no matter which way, because if you don't know the law, you don't know how you're walking contrary. And just because you don't know the commandments don't mean that the Most High is not going to punish you. Because my brother Yahweh always bring out, he will wink at your sins. Just because he wink at it don't mean you're not going to get punished for it. It's just going to be a lesser punishment for your sins. That's all that winking is. So when he said that, it's literally just a lesser punishment. Don't mean he's not going to punish you. It means it's going to be a lesser punishment. Right? So with that, I go to the next commandment, right? Commandment 286, that the court shall pass sentence of death by strangulation. Leviticus 20 and 10.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 10. And the man that committed adultery with another man's wife, even he that committed adultery with his wife, with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death.
Shall surely be put to death, man. So, and the thing of it is with the Most High is they did ways to where they made you a public spectacle, man. So that way it was an example. So that way our people would not do that same sin. He said to put away the evil of Israel, man. Right? So, hey, don't do it, Israel. You got anything you want to add to that, King? Right? So commandment number 287, we'll get two more after this one. That the court shall pass sentence of death by burning with fire. Leviticus 20 and 14.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 14. And if a man take a wife and her mother's, it is wickedness. They shall be burned with fire, both he and they, that there be no wickedness among you.
Hey, so that's just a wicked sin, man. Right? So he letting you know, hey, if you mess with your wife and her mother, that's wicked, bro. So, hey, he got to put you to death, and he's going to make a public spectacle of you by putting you to death with fire. So, beyond popular belief, how Esau did it in his system where he would, kill a slave or whatever it may be to make an example. That's not the way the Most High deemed it to be. It's only wicked things. Right? So, commandment number 288, that the court shall pass sentence of death by stoning. Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 24.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 24. Then ye shall bring them both out unto the gates of that city, and ye shall stone them with stones that they die. The damsel, because she cried not, been in the city, and the man, because he had humbled his neighbor's wife. So thou shalt put away evil from among you.
And I love that because they're the Most High letting you know, first of all, you shouldn't even be dealing with nobody's wife. That goes for any way. You know what I'm saying? You sit down by the wine, like it's saying Iraq. You calling a brother wife up, just her, no permission from the husband. You know what I'm saying? And we understand that if you never got permission from that guy and you talking to his rib, it was off. And y'all say brothers know when they off and they talking to somebody rib, the brother ain't have no understanding of it and he didn't get along with that brother, but you trying to drop an inbox of a brother wife or you trying to get cool with a brother wife. Like we know that, when you're off. Brother, we know, hey, brothers know when their spirit is off, don't they, brother?
Yeah, I mean, that spirit right there shouldn't even exist among brothers, but unfortunately, sometimes it does with jealousy. And 9 times out of 10, the woman is off as well. That's why he created that law, because he couldn't have committed adultery with the woman if the woman was a willing participant. Now, if you read further down in this, it tells you, but if she do scream out, she say something, she go to the authority to her husband, then only the man will be put to death. But in most cases, even that, a lot of jobs have my work husband or my work wife, and sometimes they may go and commit adultery at a hotel after work, and so if that's the case, that's when they both should be put to death, right? But it's instant where he takes the woman because his urge and his desire for that woman, overshadow his logical thinking, then he commit a rape and adultery with the woman, and she may have been committed fornication, but she's forgiven because she wasn't a willing participant in it.
Hey, and you're right too, and that goes back to that crave as well too, though. That goes back to a man craving. It starts off as a small little gesture, and then it builds up. It's like that snowball off of the Roadrunner Coyote.
Right.
That thing starts as a small pebble or small snowball, and as it rolls down the hill, it picks up steam, and before you know it, now that thing's uncontrollable. Now you dang got her at the hotel room, and now you commit adultery, and that's why the Most High said you got to put that evil from amongst you, right, by putting her to death. Right, so praise to the Most High, man. So this will be the last commandment on this Torah portion, and we'll pick it back up next Shabbat, Most High willing. So commandment 289, to hang the dead body of one who was incurred with penalty. Deuteronomy 21 and 22.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 21, verse 2. And if a man have committed a sin worthy of death, and he be put to death, so like, and he be to be put to death, and thou hang him on a tree, his body shall not remain all night upon the tree, but thou shalt anywise bury him that day. For he that is hanged is accused of Yahweh, that thy land be not defiled, which Yahweh thy God with thee for inheritance.
Right, hey, and that's all praises, man, because hey, that's just, even though somebody does something that's punishable by the law, the Most High is still merciful, because he like, look, it's dishonor for me to allow that man to hang all day and all night, right? Which what we know back in those times happened, right? And that also covers law number 291, to enter the executed on the day of execution, and also 290, that the dead body of an executed criminal should not remain hanging on the tree overnight. Right? So, hey, that's all praises to the Most High, man. Because, I mean, there is no honor, when when you allow that body to hang, because honestly, you know what I'm saying? That's why Yahushua back in our times, Yahushua actually got buried that same night, because, hey, it was a custom or a law. So he got executed, and before the sun set, he actually was taken to the tomb or the sepulcher. Right? So, hey, giving all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and all praises to the Shabbat reading, the Torah portion. Hey, so we're gonna get our closing precept, and then we give everybody the Shabbat class back, man. Right? I'm gonna bring out Leviticus chapter 22 and verse 31. Right? Because at the end of the day, man, hey, we got to continue to endure this thing, and we got to continue to obey the Most High, because we know that if we go against the commandments, then we're going against the covenant, and that's being a harlot, like we said, right? And if we're going against the covenant, then that's committing spiritual fornication. Then we know that we can't serve two masters, and according to Exodus chapter 20 and verse 3, that hey, that's putting another God before Yahweh. So that's why when it says that if you break one, you're breaking them all, because you may think that, oh, well, I just didn't have my fringes on today, but actually that's putting another God above the Most High. So literally all the commandments go back to the first commandment, because if you're keeping the commandments, you're honoring the Most High. And if you're not keeping the commandments, you're dishonoring the Most High, which means you're putting another God before the Most High. And if you're doing that, now you're committing a spiritual fornication, and you're breaking the first commandment. And if you're breaking the first commandment, you're breaking all 613, right? So this is the book of Leviticus chapter 22 and verse 31 and verse 32. I'm going to read through 31. It says, therefore shall you keep my commandments and do them. I am Yahweh. Neither shall you profane my holy name, but I will be hallowed among the children of Israel. So hallowed means that there is none other but him. It says, I am Yahweh, which hallow you. So now he's letting you know that you should be hallowed. You shouldn't have no other God, right? You should keep no other understanding. You should keep no other instructions from anybody but the Most High. So if the Most High say you got to have the fringes at the end, like Yahweh have said, not saying that you got to go and lose your job, because that's not wisdom. You know, yes, you keep that wife beater on. But if you truly love the Most High, as soon as you get out of work, you're either gonna untuck the white beater, or for me, like I had a job where I was a manager at Domino's, so I was required to actually wear their uniform. It was a requirement, or you got fired. But as soon as I got out of Domino's, I literally went into the bathroom, took off the Domino's shirt, and literally put on my friend's shirt that I had in my book bag that I took to work. You know, now I'm not saying everybody's zeal is the same or everybody whatever, but I'm saying when you truly love the Most High and you want to keep those commandments, hey, you're going to kind of do what it takes. Yes, you're going to take it off or do whatever it takes to stay to work, but then as soon as you get out, hey, you're going to put that thing on. Me personally, too, I had on the white beater underneath tucked in as well. So I had it that way and the other one. So I showed that, hey, as soon as I came out, I had, showed I was hollow. Verse 32 says, neither shall you profane my holy name, but I will be hallowed among the children of Israel. I am Yahweh which hallow you, that brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your power. I am Yahweh. So he's letting you know, man, if you want to be hallowed, if you love me, right? If you want to show that I am your power, then hey, you have to keep my commandments. With that, I yield.
Con. That's right. That's why we go over the commandments, on the Shabbat, because it's very important, to know these laws. A lot of brothers that listen in for the first time may have never heard these laws, and we fortunate enough to have gotten the 613 from priest Yakanam and elders Aquam, mighty brothers that over the head of Yahweh's camp here in the same city that we reside in, and also do the work, not too far from where we do the work at. So, we go with this because the Most High gave it to us, gave it to them to give to us. And we're very thankful that we do have all the 613 law, statute, commandments that the Most High gave Moses and to give to the children of Israel, right? My closing precept is going to come from Sirach 24 and verse number 23.
Praise
I'm gonna get two. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get verse 8 and then verse 23. 24 and 8, and then I'm gonna go to verse 23. It says, Sirach chapter 24, verse 8. So the creator of all things, Yahweh, gave me a commandment, and he that made me caused my tabernacle to rest, the Shabbat, right? And said, let thy dwelling be in Jacob, Israel, and thy inheritance in Israel. And it's talking about the actual land, right? Because he says that Jacob, and then his inheritance is in Israel. Verse 9, he created me from the beginning, before the world, and I shall never fail, right? So even before the world was created, he created the spirit of Israel. He knew that he was going to have a chosen people from the beginning. He knew he was going to give those people the law, statute, commandments, which would separate them or make them people holy, right? Jump over to verse 23. Jump down to 23, and it reads, all these things are the book of the covenant of the Most High God, even the law which Moses commanded for inheritance unto the congregation of Jacob. So we was given the law, statute, commandments, which makes us the greatest nation walking this planet, not because we can jump higher or we look better, or we cook the best, or, we got swag and we can turn something into nothing, and we can turn oppression to, we can glorify in our oppression all the way up until this day, right? There have been studies said no other nation, not the so-called Chinese man, the Japanese man, the Arabs, the East Indian, the so-called white man, could have survived 400 years of oppression that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans and similar Indians have went through over these last 4 centuries, right? And it's all by the will of the Most High, because he said he would never leave us or forsake us. And once we turn back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, the Most High will redeem the children of Israel out of the land of the north, out of Babylon the Great, aka Egypt, spiritual Egypt, and we will be set back in the Holy Land. So Israel, I encourage you to just endure, you know, keep a heed to these commandments. Love your brother, love your neighbors. And, you know, we give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Giving all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua. Hey, we pray that, hey, you have a blessed Shabbat. We love you, Israel, and the Most High will. Hey, you continue to strive to learn these commandments, because he said the commandments are life, man, and life more abundantly, which means that eternal gift. So, hey, we love you. We love you. We love you. From the soldiers of Yahweh, man, my name is Ariyah.
Brother Yawasop.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom, man. We came to establish the law. Khan.
Shalom.
Shalom.